Welcome to Ouch. Was that a ghost? This podcast may contain graphic material, which some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Help me.
Now that we covered that, here's your host, Liz.
Welcome back to Ouch, Was That a Ghost? I froze. Hi. Today I have back...
No, it might be me.
No, like my brain just shut down.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. Welcome back to Ouch, Was That a Ghost? Today we have back again for the 100th time, Natasha.
Hey, can't get enough of it. I found out what word you say that makes me laugh every time. Wow.
Every time.
Every time you say it.
What?
Can you say, I saw that movie?
I saw that movie.
Okay, that time you did it, but usually when you do it, it's like sore.
I saw?
Yeah.
I
You
saw
like
that movie?
it's like you replace the W with an R. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. I love being on the show, so I'm good.
Yes. Yeah, today we're doing some Irish folklore.
Whoop, whoop.
And we're doing...
Oh, for all your listeners that don't know, I have red hair. I am of Irish descent.
Ditto. I used to have super red hair, but as I'm getting older, I feel like it's getting more brown mixed in with it. Like if you saw when I was a baby or child or teenager, I had like flaming red hair.
I would never have guessed that.
Really? Well, I dye my hair all the time too. I'll be blonde one day,
I used
this,
to.
that.
I dyed it black.
I did that when I was a teenager for a bit. I had to try out every color. I've done brown with streaks.
Say you're emo without saying you're emo. I'm like paper white with black hair. Like I wasn't getting enough weird looks.
Yeah, I'd have a tan if my freckles connected. I'd be so good.
That's what I tell people.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'd have one really big tan if they just hooked together.
Seriously.
I've always had people, they're like, I love your freckles. They're so cute. I'm like, you can have them. And they're like, oh, God must love you because it's a freckle for every kiss of an angel or some bullshit. And I was like, no. I said, I have a freckle for every soul I have devoured.
Wow.
And I soak my hair in the blood of my enemies. That's why it's red.
Aw, how sweet.
I know, right? Irish folklore.
So today we're going to do some of Irish folklore's Harbingers of Death. All cultures have like different signs, omens that suggest that death is near. Like some say seeing a crow or a raven or owls is said to be a warning that death will follow, you know?
Oh, and here I just liked them because they're cool. Well, and they too even have, so they also say like once someone's passed, like certain birds like cardinals are big on like it's a spirit visiting or whatever.
Ladybugs, I've heard that a lot.
Oh, I've heard something different about ladybugs.
Really?
Have you ever seen the movie Bullet Train?
Bullet Train? I might
With
have. Who's in it?
Brad Pitt.
Maybe I didn't.
He's like the main guy.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
But anyway, so they called him a ladybug. I am a ladybug.
Okay.
In this context. So what they explained it was, so this guy has horrible luck, right? I mean, horrible luck. All this like crazy shit happens to him, but he always like makes it out unscathed, like at the nick of time or whatever. Like he trips and falls, but somebody throws something at him and it ricochets and kills him. But he just so happened to trip over something. Like he has this really bad luck. But what they explained it was is like a ladybug. I don't know, because ladybugs are lucky. I think in like Chinese, maybe I think it's.
I've heard they're lucky too. I'm just not sure why or when.
So in this movie, a ladybug is someone who absorbs all of the bad luck and experiences all of the bad luck so that other people can have the good luck.
Oh.
So I am a ladybug because all this weird stuff keeps happening to me.
Okay.
You should watch the movie though. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, I'll check it out. I have this huge list of movies I have to watch. I'll get to it one day. In Irish folklore, banshees, or women of the fairy mound, is one of the most feared figures. This otherworldly, disembodied, typically depicted as a female spirit, is often described as having long, wild, unkempt hair, like me today. The hair is usually said to be gray or white, but it's also been described as red or black. And she's said to only appear at night and is often seen combing her hair. And it's said that if you find a banshee's comb on the ground, it's really bad luck to pick it up. So don't pick up any combs you find anyways. That's like gross.
Yeah, you might get lice.
Yeah, yuck.
But how does she have crazy hair if she's combing it all the time?
That I don't get. Maybe it just like, I don't know. You know how you have that one, like, what is it, cowlick in the back that will just keep popping up? Maybe her whole head of hair is like
True.
that. She combs it and then she just goes bing.
Yeah, well, that one does say though that it's like wild and unkept. Like she doesn't brush it. I don't know.
But I guess there's a big thing around her combs. Like, don't pick them up. But again, like we said, don't
Noted.
pick up any combs.
Ugh.
Her descriptions seem to change by region, like which region she's in. Her height can be described as unnaturally tall, while others say unnaturally short. I don't know. And she's said to dress in this long, flowing dress, sometimes a cloak with it, and again, the color varies. She's said to appear either pale or ghostly, like a beautiful woman or an elderly woman. Well, some say she could appear as a skeletal creature, but I think you said that she could also appear headless.
So yeah, so there could be let me think here. So there's one that she's headless and she's carrying a bowl of blood.
That's a choice.
Yeah, and some people say that she has like as all paranormal does, she's got these ruby red glowing eyes, right?
I've seen that from her crying for centuries for the dead.
Yeah, maybe when it says red eyes, I'm like, maybe they meant like bloodshot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've also heard that she looks like a woman washing clothes and she's washing the blood out of dead people's clothing. And they call her the washerwoman.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty freaking bananas. And sometimes it's like, I saw where like sometimes her dress is green and I'm like, well, yeah, if she's got that red hair, of course she's rocking green because that's like a golden color for us.
Yep.
That and purple.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's pretty much what I found is like, and also that she floats, she doesn't walk, and she arrives and leaves in like a puff of mist, kind of like in Supernatural. They have an episode, I think it's the first one, isn't it? The first episode of Supernatural, the woman on the bridge is a banshee, I think.
Oh, I've never watched Supernatural. I told you I'm so behind on shows, movies, everything.
I've watched that twice, at least.
I've watched The Office at least 3 times.
I am Team Dean all the way, except that one season where Sam was like rugged because Dean was gone. Oh, mercy me. Sam with a beard. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, one day I'll try it out. Despite their different depictions on appearances, they are all known for one thing that they have in common: their bone-chilling scream. Their eerie wailing cries, screaming and clapping are said to be an omen of death, of yourself or of a loved one. If you hear a banshee wailing, it could mean that you or someone in your family will soon be passing away. Some people believe that each family has their own banshee watching over them, while some say it's only the royal families or the ones that start with Mick, Mac, or the O's, like MC, MAC, or the O's.
I come from McClure's.
McClure's.
MCCL. But not only that, but they say that a banshee can only be a descendant of Irish heritage. So if you're from Germany, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
But they also, I think it's a lot of Celtic. Like I'm talking specifically today about Irish, but there's a lot of Scottish banshee lore too. And I was telling
That's where
you
the fairy
earlier
comes from. Did you know that?
that what does?
The fairy theory, the fairy of the mound.
Comes from the Scottish banshees?
So there were these things called, oh my goodness, hold on. It's in Gaelic Celtic folklore. Excuse me. And oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of what it was. So there were these beings. Here we go. Huhat de Donin. They were Irish gods. And essentially they got in a fight with these people that were supposedly natives.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost. And so when those gods broke down, they basically got demoted and they went into the earth. And when they went into the earth, that's where you have the mounds of whatever and the hills. And so they would man the whatever mound or hill that they created when they went into the earth. And that's why they're called Fairy of the Mound. And it's one of those fairies that is the banshee.
That is cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yep. Man, I know a lot about banshees.
I didn't realize how little I know. What?
Should we tell them why I know a bunch about banshees?
Why do you know a bunch about banshees?
Okay. I've been telling Melissa we are connected. More than one occasion.
I don't feel good, so my brain is working in like slow motion today. Everything. If you can hear my voice is off, that's why I apologize. I'm getting
Actually
over
sound
something.
pretty fabulous, considering I
Okay.
know that you're sick.
All right, go ahead.
But I've been telling her for a while now, and it'll be like I will send her a message, and it's like she was like one of us will be in contact with the other one, and I just know, right? Or I just like, man, I'm like something, I'm sick or whatever, and then you're the same kind of sick, but we're not even close to each other. We're like hours from each other, and like I've never actually met you in person, just to clarify. But day before yesterday, I had a tab open, and I was doing this episode, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start notes on this, right? It's been in my thing for over 8 months. And I pull it open, I start making notes. So then Miss Liz here, I talked to her today and she's like, we need to record. And I was like, okay, I have my browser open. I am making my notes. And she's like, oh, I'm doing the Banshee. And I'm like, the hell you are. I was opening and I was typing up with the tabs open. I'm doing an episode on Banshees, the same, like we were making our notes the exact same time.
It's so strange out of so many topics. And it's
Yeah.
not even like around a,
It's no
Halloween or
holidays
something.
I just, for whatever reason, felt compelled to research a Banshee. And now here we are. When you know, you know. Oh, dude.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I've got a derailing. I don't know how your listeners feel about weird, quote unquote, coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that's the universe talking to you.
Okay.
But the universe dealt a hand that I don't know if I need to call or fold.
What's that?
So I passed like 4 grocery stores on the way home. And I, for whatever reason, picked this one particular grocery store. I was like, I just need to stop here. Fuck it. And I go in and I'm perusing, because I'm looking for stuff. I've never been in here before. And I don't know where anything's at. So I'm looking around, I'm picking things up, taking my sweet time. Like nothing where it's like, get in, get out, whatever. No, I'm like, oh, this looks good. So like something is intentionally diverting my attention to stall me, essentially. So then I can't find any eggs. There's not a single egg in this grocery store. So I go to the front and I'm like, hey, I found everything I need. I'm just missing eggs. She's like, oh, well, we don't have any. We're out. I'm like, okay. So I go to the checkout line and I just happen to look behind me and there's this guy behind me with 2 little, like, well, they're not little, but maybe like 6 and 9, maybe kids, little girls. And I'm just like, huh, that's weird. I'm like, he looks so familiar, but I couldn't quite peg why or where. But I was like, man, I know this guy. So I'm just like, oh, well, I'm already here. I'll just check out, right? So I start loading my cart. And these girls are just, they're being good. They're just, getting into stuff or whatever. And I finally go, I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, but you look so familiar. I'm like, do I know you? And he looked at me and he was like, I think so. And I said, where'd you go to school? And so he tells me the school. And I'm like, wait a minute. I went to school with you. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, this is my name. And I was like, and I only knew him by his last name. So I was like, oh yeah, so-and-so. And I'm like, well, how's it going? As he's got 2 little kids with him. I'm like, how's it going? I'm looking. He doesn't have a wedding ring. Not that I was looking for any reason.
Right.
But but all the single ladies, anyway, he's talking. I'm just like, oh, how's it going? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is like who I was in high school. Here's my maiden name, And he's like, oh yeah, I remember you. And he was a super sweet guy in school. He was a little different but he was funny and he was just great. So I was like, oh, well, and I'm talking, he like introduces his daughter. He's like, okay, well, like tell her what your name is and all that, because we're stalling time while they're scanning my groceries. And like we're sitting there and I'm like, oh, okay, well, it was nice seeing you. And he's like, okay, yeah. So then I go to walk out the door and somebody else I know walks in front of my door, like in the door. So I stop for a second and talk to him. So again, universe is stalling me as I'm walking out of the grocery store. So then I'm like, okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I'll see you later, whatever. And I go out to my car, I pop the trunk, I put the groceries in the trunk, close the trunk, and as I go around to get in my car, I see them, they're walking towards me in the parking lot. And I was like, just get in my car, like whatever. He was right next to me. This parking lot holds over 200 cars. And he was right next to me, the space over. And then I'm laughing because I drive a 4-door sedan that is, make and model X that's black. He is in same make in a truck, black. So like we're parked right next to each other with the same looking vehicle of the same make at the same time. And I'm like, I go, oh, well, look at us having matching vehicles and parking right next to each other and whatever. Like his daughters were like waving at me when they left. And I was just like, what are the odds?
Yeah, that's weird.
That all of that would happen at this, like, at the same time. Now, if you run into somebody at the grocery store, yeah, that happens all the time. But how often is it that you walk out to your car, everything is pairing you up to meet these people at the exact same time, and you're driving like the same, like literally, if you turn my car into a truck, that's what he was driving.
That's so funny.
And we were literally the next part. And what's funny is I parked in a spot and didn't like it. So I backed out and drove around and moved and parked and ended up right next to this guy. I was like, okay, I hear you loud and clear, universe. But I was like, so what do I do? Like, do I look him up? I mean, what's the protocol here?
Should have talked to him more then, but the kids are around, you know?
They were very sweet kids. So I looked him up on social media, and I don't see anything on a relationship status, so I can't determine whether or not he's single or not.
Well, slide into the DMs and check it out.
I might. Grease me up, baby. I'm sliding into them DMs. But anyway, I don't know why that made me think of that, but it did.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where I was. So the Micmacos. All right, so back in the 19th and 20th century, keening was a very common practice. This was a job for women. They'd be hired, paid, like it's an actual job. And it was almost theatrical in nature. They would cry out and wail for the deceased, but it was like a sad, beautiful. It was like a sad, beautiful cry. You know what I mean? Like it was,
I know about this. So when they're like wailing, it's, in theory, or the thought process is not only are they crying, but in their crying, they are tapping into some kind of supernatural something to help soothe. And they would do things that are very like rhythmic. Like sometimes they would cry, but it would almost sound like it had like a melody or something to it. You know what I mean? Almost like a chant.
And I've seen it's almost like to help them pass on.
Yes. Yeah.
And a sign of respect for those who have passed on.
But can you imagine you go into this funeral? Everyone's a stone-faced killer, and there's like one lady just like hauled up on the casket, just you know. I feel like that'd be rude.
It would be, but think about it. They didn't have to like abide by like all the societal norms back then. So you could like dress how you wanted, act how you wanted, because they'd be like, oh, she's a keener. Like, let her do what she wants. She's like the crazy lady down the street. No one really thought anything of it. I would love to be that person.
Eccentric.
Yeah, they can do what they want.
That weird old bat down the road.
Yeah, but she doesn't even have to brush her hair.
What I wonder is how come if they were centered around that their cries could tap into some sort of power or some sort of something to help these people that are dead? How were they not shunned with witches? Because does that not seem like something a witch would do?
Yeah, it does. It might have been like somewhat respected almost back then. But I'm sure some people thought that but like not everybody could afford keeners. They were only to certain families. This practice faded out when Christianity pushed all like the pagan practices away. And the job that they did sounds a lot like what banshees do. So some may think that maybe the banshees took over, and that's one theory that they're keeners. Others say that.
I got an idea.
What?
What if a banshee is just the ghost of a keener?
How cool is that? Like you were so into it when you were alive, and then you were like, I'm going to do this forever.
And what if a keener was assigned when you called a family? Because if they were, affluent families, what if they were assigned a specific keener? And that's why that ghost haunts that family.
Do you think they were underpaid or appreciative in staying with them?
What if it was just their duty and that's all they did? Like that was their life. So it's almost like not a residual haunting, but similar. Like they do the same thing every time somebody dies because like, oh, the family needs me. And then they're here. Like I'm warning them, hey, I'm here, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And what if that's still them ushering them to the afterlife because they're not the ones killing them? But what if they're saying, I'm here? Like they don't know how to do it any other way because all they do is cry, right? Or scream or whatever. So what if it's their way of saying, I'm here and I'm going to help them over? Maybe?
Yep.
It's like a jacked up comforting. It's like some kind of weird abusive relationship.
Like, man, I don't have any other experience. So this is the only job I have. So I'm going to keep doing this. But others say that banshees are women who died in childbirth or they were killed in some horrific, untimely way, or that they were even betrayed by their family. And somehow their grief was so severe that they supernaturally tethered themselves to certain families, and that they're there to help their descendants pass over. But these women do get like a really bad rap. Like they're only warning of a person's death, but they don't kill or intervene. They're just there to alert you.
Exactly.
So some don't see them as evil, more as a person mourning alongside you. And some say she's
Yeah.
crying, like I said, because it's their descendants that just passed away and they're sad, you know?
So maybe it's not that the person working is the descendant or whatever, but maybe it's the family of the keener themselves. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Okay, so not somebody they worked for, but probably more for their family.
that they're dead is
Gotcha.
the person. I don't know if I'm saying that the right way. I don't feel good.
I got it. You're good. I was following you. We're good.
And some say that they appear to celebrate someone's death, helping them pass over to the next realm. Often these wails are heard, but the banshee themselves are not seen. And if they are spotted, like you said earlier, they have the ability to disappear at will. And they disappear, as you said, almost into like a cloud or mist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only the day of. I guess the banshee's cries can be heard up to a few days before the person's death, but it's only heard by those people that it's intended for. So if it's connected to your family, the neighbors that aren't, connected to this whole situation wouldn't hear it because they're wailing and crying out for you to hear.
Yeah, I've heard that only the person that's gonna die. I mean, I've heard that, but then other places say it's like a close member or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many variations on these. But the belief in banshees was more common before, but there are still many families that believe that if you hear the wail today, a family member will soon pass on, a feared yet respected part of some Irish households. And stories are still told online of encounters or hearing the banshee in Ireland. But some people do say that it's just the cries are just barn owls. But I want to believe in banshees.
Well, okay, so around here we have bobcats. And if I remember correctly, I mean, there's animals that is their gig. I mean, they sit out in the woods and it sounds like people, like women crying or babies screaming. And it gets people to come check it out and then they attack them. And that is like actual nature. That's not like just a conspiracy. I mean, there's animals that really do that.
Yeah, that sound like babies crying. Yep.
Yeah, they act like playing possum, they act injured.
So off topic, but even my cat, like when he wants something, he'll give like a cuter cry. Like if he's like, come on, the meow will be so much sweeter. But I guess a lot of the people while the keeners were performing would be like stone faced. And like you said, this lady is just going insane, flipping out. Like that must have been quite a sight.
I just can't imagine. It seems like quite the spectacle. I don't know. I don't know.
That's why I think of it as like theater. Like someone's just performing and just putting on this big show. And they know that they're making a show of it. And so does everybody else.
But that's what they're. See, I don't know. I mean, why would crying help or screaming help? Although there are actually a lot of rituals, especially ones that start over in like the Celtic religion and stuff, that they do a lot of chanting and yelling and like, people running around naked around the fire, and like witch stuff. And they do a lot of crying. It's like an expression to get that energy out. And I think it just meshes. There's something about it that's very primal, I guess. And wow, I just like went really deep, really fast. Don't come up too fast. You're going to get the bends. I was getting the reverse bends over here. Why is it whenever I drink, I get more, I get deeper? I'm like the opposite of a normal person. Let me theorize. Let me get theological on you while I drink my vodka.
So I'm going to touch on one other Irish harbinger of death, the Dullahan.
Ooh.
He is also sometimes, I guess, seen with the banshees. I didn't know that.
I don't know what this thing is, so.
But then I see in writing that the Dullahan is a solitary fairy or fae that only wants to interact with its intended victims. So I don't know.
What if it just so happens that they do a collab? This family member just so happens to be one that's got a banshee assigned.
That would be crazy. Although the actual origin of this tale is unknown, depictions of this entity, the Dullahan, appears in print as far back as the early 1800s, maybe earlier. I didn't do that much research. I probably should have done more, but who knows? But there's so many different versions.
Oh, see if I noted it.
Hers was the 8th century. These guys are like the 19th.
I don't know, but maybe it is just a collab. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. But there's, like the Banshee, there's so many different versions of him. One is that he lost his head while in battle and is forced to eternally search for it. Some say that I'm going to butcher this name, Cruach, who was the god of fertility pre-Christianity time, or Crone Duav, were both gods
What'd you call this
associated with
thing?
human. The Dullahan. Basically the headless horseman.
Dullahan.
But both of those gods were associated with human sacrifices that are said to be connected with the Dullahan, and a lot of the human sacrifices were beheading people. So one theory is that
Oh,
these two gods want more human sacrifices, or some say that it was African influence that shaped the Dullahan from when they settled in Ireland. There's a lot of theories, but
so I don't know. It does look like a lot. It looks a lot if you just look it up and Google it. It's essentially like you said, the headless horseman. So what I would be curious is all the pictures though depict this man holding a skull. So I don't know how he'd be looking for it if what if it's the headless banshee's head
could be.
and maybe she's got a bowl of blood because she cut his head.
Oh,
Head
and she was
swap.
just collecting the blood.
I don't know. Maybe
Head
she's got this
swap.
Elizabeth Bathory thing going on. Throwback to
Oh
another
my
collab we
gosh.
did. Hey.
But like you said, the Dullahan's most distinct feature is probably being that he's missing his head, which back in Celtic folklore and in history, they connected a person's head with their souls. So some think that his soul is trapped in his head, or maybe he just doesn't have a soul. The Dullahan is said to be usually wearing black armor, like dressed like a knight. I can't talk. My
That's
head
pretty
is so
badass.
clogged. He's sometimes reported riding a black horse, carrying his decomposing head under his arm, or holding it by the hair. And it's pretty gnarly how his head is described.
He
This
rode
is a
upon a
quote.
dark horse and he was death. Maybe just a horseman. You know, like the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
Some say his horse is so black because he comes from the deepest, dark depths of hell. So about his head, there's a quote from Croker's Tale, The Headless Horseman. And it says, quote, "Such a head no mortal ever saw before. It looked like," this is gross, "a large cream cheese hung round with black puddings. No speck of color enlivened the ashy paleness of the depressed features. The skin lay stretched over the unearthly surface, almost like the parchment head of a drum. Two fiery eyes of prodigious circumference with a strange and irregular motion flashed like meteors." Because I guess his eyes are constantly said to be looking for victims, like back and forth. So he's just carrying this head around.
But if his head is that mummified, would his eyes not have shriveled up long ago?
You would think. But it's like a paranormal, supernatural thing, you know?
Oh.
And it has this big, creepy-ass grin that stretches from ear to ear all the time, which makes it even worse. When he's not carrying his head under his arm, it's said that the horseman extends their arm out using the rotting head as a lantern or for sight, because the eyes are said to have supernatural sight, like miles ahead. Or his head is just not there in some stories.
I thought I had something.
Okay.
So he either has his head or he doesn't have his head.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, he's riding a black horse of hell.
A horse, but he can also, and the horse, I guess, has flames that comes out of its nostrils, its mouth, comes off his hooves, but he can also be driving a coach sometimes. Like he's seen sometimes on a single horse, or he could be driving a coach, and this is called the Black Death Coach. And the coach is said to be made from coffins, led by 6 horses. And the wheels of the coach are said to be made of human bones, and the lanterns on the front of the coach made out of human skulls that are like lit up. And the leather of the coach.
That sounds pretty badass. I want the death coach.
The leather of the coach is made from human skin. Like, that's so Ed Gein of him.
Yes.
And a lot of people say that after you see the coach, you'll soon die. Or if he calls out your name, you'd soon drop dead, and the Dullahan will take their soul.
How soon is soon?
Some say immediately, and some say within a few days. So, I mean, it's the Irish headless horseman. Sometimes, that's the other thing. Sometimes the horses are said to not even have heads.
What?
So if you look up different depictions, some have just headless horses and the headless horseman.
That doesn't make any sense. As they're running really fast into a wire.
They're already dead, so what are you going to do?
But I
Kill
do know,
yourself
I
again?
believe in Japanese lore, there's a horse that breathes flames.
What is that, like yokai?
I think so. It was on Inuyasha.
I didn't see that one. I've only seen a few animes for my son.
I'm watching the shit out of that show, man. I've been on it for like 2 weeks now. But my thing is, so I've heard, I don't know if you caught this or anything in your notes, but I know a particular thing that's very common with the Headless Horseman is that he can't cross running water and he can't go on hollow ground
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, holy ground.
I don't know if that goes back to this or if that's more of the adaptation when it came to the USA.
True. Yeah, I don't know that much about I've never heard of this one before.
But the only speaking he does is saying the person's, saying the name of the soul he'll be taking. And
Say my name.
after the name is spoken, that person is doomed. But I guess if you see him and you're not his intended target, but you saw him, he may spare your life, but he will take your sight by either throwing a bucket of blood, throwback Banshee, in your eyes. So he'll throw a bucket of blood in your eyes, or he'll hit you with his whip, which is made out of a human spine. And
That's
I don't really get Huh?
That's not very flexible. I'm thinking like the whip action. I'm like, man, that'd be difficult.
Right? But it would hurt.
About it. Trust me. I find out every now and then that my bin doesn't back that much. My back doesn't bend that much.
Right. He does have one thing that is said to distract him. If you throw down gold, but I don't know if that saves you or it just buys you a few minutes. I can't see like throwing gold down saving your life, but maybe I didn't find out enough about that. But the tale of the Dullahan became really gold, metals and gold.
Huh.
I don't know what he does with it. Yeah.
Maybe
throw your ring at him.
He melts it down and he makes horseshoes for his horses.
Oh, maybe that's it. Possibly.
As long as it's not iron, probably, because iron's bad.
Okay.
For spookies, right? Because changelings are also Irish and they had that iron thing or whatever.
So the tale of the Dullahan became popular in the U.S. when Washington Irvine published some short stories in 1820, and one of them being The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which, I mean, we all know from the cartoon, the Johnny Depp, what's the show?
The show Sleepy Hollow?
Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, I mean, it's been done over and over and over here, so yeah, I started watching. I should go back and finish it. I just got bored at a point.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at with it.
But yeah, that's the Irish Harbingers of Death.
I did not know anything about the Dullahan.
I didn't either, and I've gotten it requested a few times, but I didn't know any of this stuff about the carriage and the horses riding around with no heads. And
then where are their heads at?
I don't know. Doesn't really say much.
What if the Banshee screams and their scream is to warn or let the guy know where to go to pick up the body? And he's just a chauffeur.
Could be, and that's why he has the coffin carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I found this on the Banshee. It says different instances. The Banshee song may be inspired by opposite motives. So when the Banshee loves who she's calling, it is a soft, low chant, kind of giving that notice, kind of like proximity of angel of death kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more tender and soft. But then it says during her lifetime, the Banshee, was an enemy of a family. The cry was scream of a fiend howling with demonic delight over the coming death and agony of her foes. That's pretty deep.
It is.
So depending on what she thought of you would be what her cry sounds like.
See, I saw a lot that I didn't even mention. I probably should have. I guess in the northern part of Ireland, I guess that they had more of a reserved cry because that's just how they acted. Like it was the culture, I guess. And then down south, they cried a lot louder and deeper and guttural and you know what I mean? Not guttural,
Yeah.
but a lot more so it
it's
could spread across the fields and just everywhere.
yeah. Guttural would be. I would say that would be a legitimate word. Go deep, like deep down in there. When they're like
Mhm.
sing with your, breathe or whatever. And everybody puts their hands by their belly.
Yep.
There you go. I just can't get past the headless horses. That makes no sense. How the hell are they supposed to drive the carriage if they can't see? Well, I guess they don't have to see. He's in good. But wait a minute. Don't they have things to hook them to the thing that are attached to their head? Wouldn't they come off?
Yeah, I don't know where at the head, if it's down at the base of the neck, like if it's because a lot of the pictures you look up, they just have flames kind of covering, so you can't really tell where their neck is supposed to be cut off.
How cool would it be if they could fly like Santa's reindeer?
That's what you think he's doing?
It'd be pretty cool. I mean, if they already breathe fire and they have no head, maybe they could fly. Maybe not fly. Maybe it's like a hover. A hover.
That would be scary.
Because like the Banshee's said to float. Like they're running 6 inches off the ground all the time. Although that would make their stomps not very scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I've seen that you can hear them coming. Others say it's silent. So, I mean, the stories are all over the place with this.
I'm thinking it wasn't death. It was war. The Horseman of War. The Horseman of War is the one that doesn't have his head. And maybe that's where one of the horsemen comes from. I mean, if this is older than Christianity.
Possibly.
So
I'm like back in the Banshee in my head, and I was like, she sounds like kind of La Llorona.
let me read something to you. You're going to get a
Okay.
kick out of this now that you just said La Llorona. This is one of the lines from my notes. We are connected. From Women in White, Legumbrious, La Llorona, and the Beastly Baba Yaga. That's literally a line in my notes. Because that's what she reminded me of, too. But they do say, like, I saw somewhere it's like she had really long silver hair, which is not correct. If she is of Irish descent, our hair does not turn gray, it turns white. Which I guess could be silvery in the moonlight, but not gray. Gray's like scraggly,
But a lot of Irish people don't have red hair. There's a lot of brown-haired Irish people.
True. I guess they're not all gingers. Okay, fine. What if they age? What if they age and that's why? Maybe after they usher so many souls, their soul is released and they can find peace. Like they're paying their
That's
dues.
kind of beautiful if they do that. And that's why you see her beautiful and young, and then she's like a crone
And
by
then
the
she
end.
ages as she loses her steam, so to speak, or
Mhm.
spiritual steam.
Then hands it off to the next family member to take
Yep.
over. I'm
Yep.
done. Retiring.
Yep. But what if it is? What if it's like you have to help 100 souls? And what if they don't do every soul? Because what if, so just like there's 4 kids in my family, but I'm the only one that does the weird stuff that happens to me. What if it's like that? So you don't get the opportunity every generation, or you might get one opportunity every generation. And what if you just have to usher in 100 souls? That's 100 generations. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And what if it's just as you go, it's just aging you until you finally, and maybe they're withering away in the spiritual sense because their spiritual gusto is leaving into, I guess if we're, well, in Ireland, I don't know what it would be called. Not Asgard, probably, but similar. That actually makes a lot of sense.
That's pretty cool, though. That's a good theory. I like
I told
that.
you I get real deep when I'm drinking. Let me have another drink. This thing's like full. Look at this thing.
Oh, you're insane. The vodka.
Well, I had wine too, but I already poured the vodka, so I didn't want to drink the wine.
I was doing shots of Dayquil earlier.
Hey, I don't get very many nights anymore where I am not on call at the funeral home and I don't have to get up in the morning because school's out and I have nothing planned. Like, this doesn't happen very often. So, party hardy.
That's good stuff.
Otherwise, I'd be sitting in bed. I got to crochet a puppy, but
Well, thank you so much, Natasha, and stop stealing my mental ideas for episodes.
maybe I can start sitting. And the thing is, I have no idea where it came from, but literally, and then I'm laughing because you said that. It's literally in my notes. I've made a point to write that in.
That's funny.
I always love recording with you because you rock, and I tell everybody that you rock. And there may or may not be, we're not even going to mention it all, but there may or may not be something in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you everybody so much for listening. And if you want to check out Natasha, she's on Cryptid Creeps and Conspiracy. I will link her Linktree, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll
that'll work.
link something for her below. You can just click a button and you can find her. All right. Well, thank you so much. I am going to take more NyQuil. No, not NyQuil. I'm going to take some more DayQuil and have some tea and hopefully have a normal voice by next week.
8 o'clock at night.
I know. I can't sleep. I have insomnia. I'm up all night anyway.
Oh, are you like me? I take DayQuil and it puts me to sleep, but NyQuil keeps me up all night.
Oh, I have the worst. I can have a coffee and then go to sleep. I'm the weirdest person in the world.
Do you have ADHD?
I probably do. I can't focus on anything.
Because that's actually common with us, which is why they give us an upper to bring us down.
Huh. Well, maybe you're diagnosing me.
Maybe you should look into that.
I probably should. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening. And if you've had any experiences with the Banshee or the Dullahan, you're probably not here, but if you've heard of any
you got 48 hours to write it in.
No, but I would love to hear someone's like, oh, my grandmother, like that would be so cool. If you have a story, please like either comment it below, message me. I would love to hear it because I love hearing those firsthand accounts. All right. Sorry for taking all your time, Natasha. Thank you so much.
You're fine. I don't have anything planned for another 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening. Okay.
Thank you for listening. If you need more content or just want to help support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com and search Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you need some snazzy merch, you can find it at crowdmade.com by searching Ouch, Was That a Ghost? If you have a story you'd like to share, you can email it to ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and all the other social media platforms under Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Help me.
All links can also be found on ouchwasthataghost.com.